Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister who received this message. The translation of that message reads like this: Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? I have come here on your platform. I never thought that I'll be in this position, feeling the need to confess what I have done just to maintain a life that looks as glamorous as I have. On the outside, it is really beautiful, but from the inside, I am a woman that is filled with darkness and so much regret. It all started when I was in matric. There was this other girl that I really wanted to be friends with, but then she just did not want to be friends with me. And that was when it all started, this thing of me becoming a slay queen. I was trying to prove to her that I am much, much better than her. My name is Vanessa, not a real name. I am an Instagram slay queen. To the world, I am that girl who is always looking flawless, always getting the attention of men. And I like it when men give me their attention, always living a life that others can only envy. But what no one knows is that there is a price that I have paid to keep that image alive. I have worked with different South African clothing companies as their social media influencer. So it all started a few years ago when I noticed that my popularity on Instagram, it was no longer going that big. It was like slowing down. I was not getting as many likes, as many comments or followers as I used to. I still remember that there was this other particular month, like it was really hard. I could make a post, then I would only get maybe one comment or two comments from my family members. And when you are a social media influencer, the first thing that they see and check is how many likes per each and every post and how many comments. So the more people comment and the more followers that you have, then you know that the more the contracts that you are going to get. I worked with different companies, not wanting to mention their names. At that time, I was scared. Even like the guy who used to be my manager, he also started panicking. He also jumped ship and he left me alone. I was panicking. My entire identity was wrapped up in my online presence. I could not bear the thought of becoming irrelevant because I had dropped out of school because of the sponsorships that I had gotten when I was really like hot. That was when I was introduced to a traditional healer who promised me to keep me shining in the spotlight. The healer told me that if I wanted to keep men attracted to me, if I wanted to keep my fame strong on social media, I would have to sleep with him. This I have to do 4 times a year. He would perform rituals that will ensure my social media accounts are always blessed by him, by his manhood. And each and every man who will come across my social media handles, then they would follow me because they would be called by that traditional healer's manhood that he would have used when he will be sleeping with me. Men will continue to be drawn to me and my influence will keep on growing. At first, I was so hesitant, but the desperation to maintain my status and not wanting to go out there to get a job because I was so used to stay in my apartment, taking pictures, going out and just enjoying. And I could not picture myself being a cashier girl. So I told myself that it was far much better to maintain my status. I went through with it. I went to that Sangoma's house. And soon after he had slept with me, that was when I started noticing the difference. My followers grew and my DMs were flooded with messages from men that were wanting to be with me. They would give me gifts, money. It felt really great. And most of these guys, they would come. Then later on, when I'll meet up with a man, then I'll see that, this guy, he is a politician, a very big one. So power always has a way of corrupting you. I became obsessed with it. My online presence, it was just not about fame anymore. It was about control. I started to see other women as threats, especially those that were rising fast that looked more beautiful than I am on platforms like TikTok, because Instagram used to be the boss before TikTok. So when TikTok came, I jumped on that ship a little bit later on. So by the time that I started to go on TikTok, so most of my followers were not following me on TikTok, but they were following other ones that had started with TikTok from earlier on. There was one girl in particular who stole the spotlight, and she used to advertise for Nivea. This girl, she stole my contract. I felt like I was the one who deserved that contract. This girl, she was an upcoming TikToker who was gaining popularity quickly. Her content was fresh and people loved her. I felt like I was threatened by her success. In a moment of jealousy and fear, I went back to that Sangoma and I asked the Sangoma to curse her. I told him that I wanted her to lose her fame, to be forgotten. He performed the ritual. He burned a lot of these herbs, and soon after that, we saw that her success started to crumble. She went from being one of the most talked about creators to barely getting any views or likes. People moved on from her as if she had never existed. At first, it really made me to feel great, but now over the years, I can see that the things that I did, it was not nice at all. And I went back to that healer and I said, was it possible for him to reverse that curse? And he said that the curse could not be reversed because at that time when he had burned the charms, then we took that ashes that were remaining, and then he said go and flush it in the toilet. He then said that the only way that you can reverse this case, if you are able to go into the drainage, if you are able going to get the ashes that you flushed on that day. So I knew that this meant that there was no reverse. This girl just lost it, and the rituals kept on taking place each and every year. I go there for 4 days. I go and I sleep with that traditional healer so that at least I can keep on having a lot of followers. But I feel as if I am trapped in a cycle, and this cycle, I don't even know how exactly am I supposed to break this cycle that keeps on happening each and every year. Sleeping with that traditional healer. He is quite old, way too old for me to be sleeping with such a man. And this man, he does not even bath like the way that I expect a man to do. So when I go there, he is always scruffy, always looking dirty. Sometimes he even sleeps with me for 4 days in a row without even taking a bath, and this irritates me. But he says that the more the dirtier he is, then the powerful the charm it is going to be. Men will find me to be so attractive, so much that they won't be able to resist me when they are looking at me. I don't know how to break this cycle. I am terrified, like he told me, if you stop these rituals, then you know that everything that you have tried to build, young woman, it will crumble. Can't you see that you are dating all of these rich guys? Don't you know that one day, amongst these rich guys that always come to your DM, one is going to tell you that they want to marry you? But I've been doing this for a very long time. I have noticed that these guys, all that they care about is that they just want to be with me. After that, then they'll just start to ignore me. At the same time, I feel like my life is a lie. My fame is built on these rituals, and I have hurt that girl who did not even deserve it. The reason as to why I did all those things that I did to her, I tried to DM her when I heard that she was also fighting for that same contract that I felt it belonged to me. I told her to let it go because I had so much to lose. Since she was still new in the game, I told her that more opportunities were going to come. She ignored me, totally ignored me when I tried to DM her on her TikTok. And that was when I said, that is it, let me go and bewitch her. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll follow through in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our sister who gave us this translation. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.